Yo, what up everybody? This is another episode of Vic Cook. Today I'm doing meal prepping again. So what I'm doing this time is I'm going to make some jerk alfredo with some jerk salmon. So I'm doing the salmon outside on the grill, but for the pasta indoors, we'll be indoors. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to get my salmon set up. I already got my grill smoking, ready to go. First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to open this up. Slide the piece of salmon out. Then I give it a little quick rinse off. And then I'm just going to plop it down right on there. And if you don't have this, you can use foil or you can use a wood plank. I was going to initially use this wood plank, but it's too short. So I'm just not going to use it at all. We're just going to go with the metal piece that you see there. Alrighty, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep it simple. I've actually found some jerk marinade or seasoning or whatever, but this is really good stuff. You can put this on. I've used this before when I made chicken. I put it on chicken, let it marinate the night before, and it came out really good. And this is pretty much all I needed to add on there. But and also they have it in hot and mild. So I'm gonna use mild today because I don't, sometimes that jerk can get a little bit too hot for me. So what I'm gonna do is I just got my hot paste and I'm just gonna dump it on there. And it looks gross, but it smells really good. As soon as you open up, you can smell those spices. And then I'm just gonna rub and pat it on there. I'm gonna spread it out. I'm not gonna leave too big clumps on it, because I don't want it to be, I don't want like a huge part of it with seasoning on it, then it just gets too messy. But because you don't want to overpower the salmon also. You do want it to be jerk salmon and not jerk seasoning with a hint of salmon underneath somewhere. So that's probably good enough right there. All right, yeah, we'll just spread that out the best way we can. Beautiful, all right. And then we'll pat that in there. All right, so that's pretty much it for the fish. And then what I'm gonna do next is I'm just gonna take this out on the grill and we'll set this, for now we'll just set this aside while I prepare everything else that I gotta go. So this is all the stuff for the inside of the house. I have my mushrooms and I have now these are tail-on shrimp that are already peeled and deveined. But the tail's on it, so we got to get the tails off of it. But they're still kind of frosty a little bit. They still got some ice on them, which is fine because the salmon on the grill is going to take a little while. So first thing I'm going to do with these shrimps is I'm going to add some water to them. And that'll help the thawing process. Let that thaw out. In the meantime, what I'm going to do with this, let me cover my jerk seasoning back up. In the meantime, I'm going to cut up my mushrooms. And now if you want, you could add onions in there as well, or any peppers if you want, but I think for this dish, just mushrooms is enough. And I got two packs of mushrooms. I think one might be enough. And you can cut them as thin or as thick as you want to. Just depends on however you like it. But I'm going to be putting this in a pasta, so I want them kind of thick, but not too thick to where, you know, it's just too chunky. But I don't want them too thin where it's like, you know, you kind of lose the mushrooms in there as well. Alrighty, and that's good enough for me. And also remember, when you cook the mushrooms, they will shrink down a little bit. So you don't have to worry about them being too thick. And also if you cut them too small, just remember that they will shrink down. So you don't want that. So I'm going to actually put these back in here because I am going to, just for storage. And I probably won't be cutting those up because I think this should be enough for the pasta, for the amount of shrimp I have as well. You don't want it to be like too many mushroom pieces in there and not enough shrimp. Then next, I guess since we have the time, we'll go ahead and grate some Parmesan cheese. And this will be just what we kind of sprinkle into the pasta itself. And because we're going to just sprinkle this into the pasta, we can kind of save this for the end, but I usually like to start off with some cheese already grated, then I grate more as I need to. Yeah, so we'll just grate this. And this also eats up some time while I let the grill get nice and hot. And I also got my water boiling because I want my pasta to boil. So we'll just grate up some Parmesan cheese. And that's pretty much, I'll grate some more off camera. I ain't gonna let you guys, I'm not gonna subject you guys to watching me grate a bunch of cheese. But anyway, so the pasta, I add a little bit of salt to it earlier. As you see, it's boiling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my pasta to it. And even when this gets done, when the pasta, actually, you know what? Before I do that, we'll go outside and we'll put our salmon on the grill because that has to get on the grill first. All right, we are outside. As you see, it is windy, so I got to hold the camera. I tried to set it up, but I already know the wind's just going to blow it down. So what I'm going to do first is dump my chimney onto my grill. And of course, as usual, I got my hot side and my cold side, or my warm side anyways. And I'm gonna adjust my vents really nice, and I got the vents barely open because I want this to kind of cook slow, but I do like that direct heat that's gonna be right up under it. So we're gonna spread our grates out. Before I do that, I got a couple of pieces of cherry wood. We're just gonna throw that on top. Throw those over there, and that's going to get a nice flare up. Alright, and then for here, we're going to just throw our salmon right on top of that. Now, I could move the salmon over, and that'll actually protect it. Actually, I will do that. I'll move my salmon over here. So that way, this fire, as you see, it's coming up already. It won't, that way the fire doesn't burn the bottom of this salmon, and it can cook nice and slow. Low and slow is usually the way to go for a lot of meats. It cooks it nice and evenly, gets that temperature where we need it to be. So because I got some wood in there, I want that cherry wood to burn. So I'm going to open up the vents a little bit more to make sure that fire gets a lot of oxygen. And we're just going to close that up. I'm going to open that, and we'll come back and check on it in maybe 10, 15 minutes or so, see how it's doing. But other than that, we shouldn't have to do anything else. So now we'll head inside and we will work on the pasta portion of this meal prep. All right, so I got my water that's boiling, and I'm just gonna wipe out this cast iron real quick. And I got my cast iron, that's gonna be for the shrimp, and then the wok is what I'm gonna use to make the kind of sauce in. But for now, we'll put this to the side. Well, I'll just leave it back there because we really don't need it. But as you can see, it's kind of crowded up here, but that's all right. So my pasta water is boiling. We're going to add just a little bit more salt to it. And then, now for me, I'm thinking maybe 3/4 to maybe, at least definitely half the box of pasta for this kind of meal prep. But I'm thinking maybe I'll go with 3/4 of the box. There we go. Last time I just did the whole box, and I had a lot of pasta left over, and we don't like to waste food. Alrighty, so now that I got that in there, I'm just gonna use this fork to kind of push everything down in there, because you don't want the pasta getting burnt on the side, which I've had that happen before, but I mean, it comes out good already anyways. But you know, if we can avoid that, we will. All right, so pasta's in there. That's gonna boil. We'll cut that back on medium high-ish. And now another trick that I figured out, when you want to know the pasta is ready, you can either throw it in and see if it sticks on the wall, or you can eat it, see if you like it, if it's good or not. But another way or thing you could do is you could always just, when the water starts to boil again, because when you put the pasta in there, it's going to drop the temperature. When the water starts boiling like it used to before, Usually that's an indicator when the pasta's about ready. So, oh, we gotta go, we gotta get our shrimp together. So I probably should have did this before, but it's all right. You guys can stand alongside and watch everything unfold. All righty. So this is my shrimp over here. We got to get this shrimp ready to go. And yeah, so this is just extra mushroom stuff. We'll throw it out there. Now the shrimp is going to be really easy to do because the shrimp cooks very fast. So that's why I'm not really too much concerned about it. But what I'm going to do is we're just going to get our shrimp peeled, and then we're going to put it in the cast iron. And I'll actually season the shrimp while it's in the cast iron cold. And then when I'm ready to heat the shrimp up, I'll just do whatever I got to do to it, and it should come out good. So right now we're just going to peel. And these are really easy. They're already deveined. Actually, there's a small vein up under it. So I'm going to have to actually partially devein them. But the main thing on top, that's gone. But to devein them, you can pretty much just, I just take a knife and then take them out like so. And there you go. I just pull that out and then squeeze the tail, and it should come out like that. Real easy way to devein the shrimp. All right, there we go. And I just kind of cut right in the middle, and then just scoop the little poop line out. You don't want that in there. Now, there's been times on lazy days where I just take all the shrimp, dump them in there anyway, and I just deal with it. It doesn't really affect the taste to me, but you know, you can't have poop in the shrimp. Somebody will be in the comments, you got poop on the shrimp, and then I don't know. You don't want to make a habit of it. I guess if you eat too much of it, you can get sick, but just for reasons, you know. So I'm gonna finish peeling all this. I won't let you guys sit here and watch me do all these shrimp, but I'll be back in a second. Alrighty, so I got all my shrimp peeled and deveined. What I'm gonna do to add some flavor to it is I'm gonna add some black pepper, and then some garlic powder, just a little bit of that. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of my Cajun seasoning. And then because I'm doing jerk on the salmon, I'm gonna add a little bit of this in here as well. And I'm just gonna add a couple spoonfuls around. And pretty much once this all melts down, and I forgot, I'm gonna add some butter in here as well. Butter. Alright, so then I'm also going to add some butter in here as well. I'll just take a couple spoonfuls of that. Now I could easily set this on the grill and let it work that magic, and that'll be amazing. But I think the smoked salmon would be enough grill smoky flavor. Maybe one day I'll get my pot and I'll actually cook the whole pasta dish on the grill. But for now, we're just keeping it simple. So I'm gonna put this on the cast iron. I'm gonna put this on the stove top. Actually, we'll bring this right over so we can see what's going on. Alrighty. So this is gonna go right there, and we'll cut that on medium. Well, actually, yeah, we'll cut it on low actually, because I want the butter to melt. So as the butter's melting, the season's gonna mix. I'm just gonna give this a stir every once in a while. I probably should have melted the butter in here first, but it doesn't matter, it'll all cook. So actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push my shrimp on the side that's not gonna be in a fire, and I'm gonna put my butter on the other side to try to get the butter to melt first. That way the shrimp can cook in the butter with all the seasonings and the jerk sauce. It's gonna be real spicy and delicious. So now I'm gonna go back and check on my pasta. I'm stirring it around. It's still got an off color to it, so it's not ready just yet, but it will be. It will be in time. I'm also stirring to kind of break up any lumps, because sometimes the pasta likes to stick together. We don't really like that too much, but it happens. All right, so that's that. what I want to do now is I'm going to let everything cook, and once everything's about done, I'm going to add my shrimp and mushrooms into the wok, and I'm going to add my alfredo sauce. We're just going to stir it, and we're going to season it to our liking, see how we like it, and get a nice consistency of the sauce bases, and then we'll add our pasta in there last. But for those that seen a couple of my videos before, I like to do all my sauces in the wok. So we're just gonna let this sit and let it do its thing for a while. I'm gonna actually go outside and check on the salmon now. All right, we are outside. It is smelling good out here, and I don't know if you can see it, but it's that nice thin smoke that we like, and this is the good smoke you want. The temperature is about 300 degrees, but remember, we got all our coal on this side, we got our fish on this side. I haven't even opened it yet, so I don't know what to expect. It's been about maybe 10 minutes or so, I think. But as you see, the smoke is nice and clear. It's got a little hint of blue in there. That's what you want. You want the blue smoke. So I'm gonna open this grill up just to get a look-see on it. And there we go, beautiful. As you see, it's starting to firm up a little bit. You see the fish is sweating, and our jerk is still on there, nice and delicious. All right, so I'm just gonna turn that around, then we're gonna close it, and I'll let it do its thing. I'll come back and check on it another 10 minutes. Maybe I'll rotate it, but for now we'll go back in and we'll check on our pasta, watch our pasta a little bit, make sure that doesn't burn up, and yeah. All right, so I came back inside and I'm noticing that my butter's melted, which is great. So now I'm just gonna start stirring my shrimp and sauce all the way around there. So that's gonna be nice and good. And then I'll cut it up to medium now. So now everything's gonna cook in this jerk butter sauce. I'm not gonna add any wine today, because I don't want it to be, I probably could later. Maybe, we'll see. I'll have to see if I have some. But I am doing no wine this month, so I don't want to add wine to it. Then I have that taste, and it's going to tempt me to have a glass next to it, which you can if you're doing this at home, or it's up to your discretion. So my pasta's still cooking nice and slow. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to start my wok. Actually, so now because the shrimp doesn't take that long to cook, I'm gonna actually move that on the back burner, and I'll put that on high, and then I'll put this on low, and then we're gonna start our veggies. Well, not veggies, just our what is mushroom? Fungi. We'll start that. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get some butter, because we definitely want to melt some butter in here. And I could have added some olive oil also, but I like butter a little bit better. Alright. And the butter, we can technically add that last. Or actually, the mushrooms, we can add that last. After we add our shrimp in here, we could just throw our mushrooms in here afterwards. So I think we'll actually do that. Yeah, so you know, that makes more sense. All right, so we'll switch this back. There we go, changed my mind. So now we'll put that on low, and we'll put this on medium. And already I'm noticing that my shrimp is starting to turn color. So what I want to do is I want to make sure I can flip them individually. Because we don't want to because it's not that much butter in there to submerge it. So we will just, we'll just turn everything over individually. And that way it cooks nice and evenly. We don't get it burnt on one side and undercooked on the other side. And I always get raw shrimp. I like raw shrimp better. You can get pre-cooked shrimp, but then I've noticed when you try to cook pre-cooked shrimp, I don't know, it just doesn't taste as fresh as raw shrimp. And I don't know, this isn't the freshest that we get. I mean, it was raw, then frozen, and you know. But if you're gonna go with seafood, you definitely want that seafood taste as much as possible. All right, so I'm gonna turn this around, And we're just gonna flip all of these over. Where is, okay, let me stir my pasta. Always keep an eye on your pasta because you don't want it to overcook, because it will do that if you forget about it. All right, so now we got our shrimp. Looks like a nice little swampy mess in there, so that's doing good. We have our pasta that we're checking, making sure it's ready, and it looks almost ready. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try a little bit in a second. We got our butter that's melted, so that's gonna be ready to go. What I'll do is I'm gonna add the shrimp in there. I'm gonna pour some of this juice in there, but I want to be mixing it with my Alfredo sauce. So I just got some homemade Alfredo sauce from the grocery store. It doesn't matter what kind you get, but this is the one I'm gonna go with, and yeah, it's very nice and creamy. I want to make my own one day, but we'll definitely try that out one day. All right, let me try. Yeah, so the pasta looks like it's about done. We're just gonna go ahead and eat it. Okay, so the pasta needs maybe another 4 minutes. It's good, but it's still got a little rigidityness to it. And over here, our shrimp's looking nice and good. I'm just gonna go ahead and flip and turn this around. So we got this beautiful, nice sauce that when we mix it with the jerk, it's gonna be great. I mean, when we mix it with the Alfredo sauce, it's gonna be really nice and delicious. Of course, for the mains, now for when we get to the actual seasoning part of it, I do have some onion powder and garlic powder that I will be adding to it. And also I have, oh, here we go, my black peppercorn. So we're gonna ready to rock this thing out as soon as this pasta gets done. And right now our shrimp's looking nice and good, so I'm gonna cut the shrimp on low, and then we will move that to the back burner. We'll cut the back burner on low. Alrighty. And then we're gonna put our wok front and center, because this is where the magic's gonna happen, all in here. We're gonna need all the focus on this thing. Alright. So we'll leave that on low for now, and we'll check on our pasta. Ooh, that is hot. Yeah, the pasta looks nice and good. Pasta looks good. Okay. I'll try it. Whew. And as you see, it's boiling again, and it's got that nice color of pasta that we like. Okay, so that's good. That's perfect. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drain this pasta, and then I'll be... yeah, let me drain it real quick. Alright, we're back. So I got my pasta ready to go. First thing, I left some pasta water in there because that's important. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bit of butter to it. And that's just to make the pasta nice and slippery. And yeah, so that's just to do that. And then I'm going to mix this around. Alright, and then we will also add a little bit of garlic powder to it. Yeah, you can season your pasta before you throw it in there. There's nothing wrong with that. Alright, there we go. And then we'll add a little bit of onion powder as well. Why not, right? And now if you could do this, you could just eat the pasta plain like this if you want to. But here at Vic Cook, we like to fancy it up a bit. Not too much though, just a little bit. Alright, so I got my wok ready to go. Put that back on, and alright, let's get it. So I also found some of these in my fridge. These are just some diced up red peppers. I'm gonna throw this in there because why not? It's not gonna make too much of a difference, but it might add a little pop in color so it looks interesting to look at. And so we got our peppers in there. Next I'm gonna add my, actually I'll add my shrimp. There we go. We'll add my shrimp in there next. Can I? Alright. Ooh, that is hot. That is hot. Remember, the handles are always hot, so safety first. You don't want to burn yourself. And so I got my nice shrimp. And you can tell it's got a lot of jerk flavor and seasoning on it because the pink color is kind of, you don't really see too much of that bright pink in there. But we know the shrimp is cooked because they're curled up. But you can kind of see the little pink in there if you look close enough. But for the most part, it's good to go. Now this leftover butter jerk sauce, we're going to save that and we'll add it to mix it in with our alfredo. We'll just do it to taste. You know, depends on how we like it. So I got my shrimps in there. Next I'm going to add my mushrooms. And now I could have added the raw shrimp in here as well with the mushrooms and with the raw peppers and cooked everything together. But something about cooking the shrimp separately and then having the raw veggies absorb that flavor, I don't know, it gives it a different whole new different experience in my opinion. And we'll just spoon a little bit of that in there from time to time. I should actually add all of that in there, but I don't want to overpower what I'm going to do with the alfredo. Alright, and as we're cooking this, those veggies that we threw in there, that's going to get more softer. So I'm not really worried about cooking the mushrooms now, because once we had everything in there and everything heats up and we're mixing everything, it's going to get cooked. Alright, so what we will do next is, I guess we'll add our pasta. Yeah, we'll add our pasta, because I do want everything to start coming together. So we will add, let me grab another. Boom. Alright, there we go. So we got our pasta in there. Now I'm just going to mix everything around, make sure that pasta is in there good. And already you see the dish kind of coming together. You see everything looking pretty delicious. We'll put this on low, bring this over here. And then we'll cut these eyes off. And then we'll bring our little extra sauce to the side over here. And from now, what I'm pretty much doing is just mixing everything together. Sometimes it's easier. What I probably should have did was broken the pasta up, because then it's easier to mix and stir. But yeah. And smells really good already. So what I'm going to do next is we will add just a little bit of our jerk butter sauce. And there we go. Now we get that, now we see all that pasta being coated in that nice, lovely sauce. And because this is jerk alfredo, we're gonna, of course, add alfredo. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to add some alfredo sauce. And then we're just gonna stir it. And then we're going to make sure we get all the edges of everything, because we want to make sure we get all those veggies in there. And this is not too much different from my Cajun chicken and shrimp pasta. With that, I just have shrimp, chicken, and bell peppers, of course, and onions. And I won't add mushrooms to that, though. Alrighty. And that's pretty much it. That's the final result of that. We'll let it sit for a while, of course. You can taste it. If you want a little bit more creamier, add some more alfredo. If you want it more spicy or a little bit more looser, you can add some more of your butter sauce. Ooh, that's nice. So yeah, that's a little spicy. So it's a little spicy, which I like it, but I'm just gonna go ahead and add the rest of this Alfredo sauce because I do like the creamy and the cheesiness that this Alfredo sauce has to offer. So, and then we will just stir that up in there, and that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna go outside on the grill, check on my salmon now, and but this is a standalone dish. You can eat this by itself, but I guess it was a good week in Uber, so we got a little extra money. But anyway, so that's how the pasta comes along. Looks really good. Tastes really good. I can't wait to dig in. I'm gonna cut this wok off. I'm gonna cut the back on. And we just want to keep it warm or keep it hot. Everything's pretty much done cooking the way it is, and so we'll let that just sit. I'm gonna go check on my salmon now, and yeah, we'll see how that comes along. Oh, also, I did forget. I did say I was gonna. It tastes pretty good now, so I don't really need to add anything. But if you want to add a little bit of garlic powder or onion powder, or your pepper to taste, you can. I'm definitely gonna add some peppercorns, just cause, and it gives it those little specks, which makes it pleasing to the eye to look at. But I don't want it too peppery, because it's already got a lot of flavor in it. So yeah, there we go. And that's perfect. So we'll let that just sit there. And yeah, let's go check on the salmon now. Alrighty, we are outside. So far it's still 300. We still got the smoke. So usually I know how my grill works and I know how my meat goes. If I keep it at 300 to 350 with the blue smoke coming out of there, and it's on the it's not under direct heat, I know it's pretty much doing its job. So we'll open it up, and as we see, the jerk salmon looks nice. We see we got a little bit of that white stuff that comes up. I don't know what that is, but yeah, it's looking nice and delicious. I'm gonna go ahead and move this to the hot side now because I want to kind of make this paste kind of crisp up a little bit. But if it doesn't, that's fine with me. I am gonna cut a little piece off here to sample it. Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, as you see, it's pretty much done. So I'm gonna go ahead and eat a couple bites of this, and then I got the heat up. I got it on the hot side now because we're gonna try to sear some of this jerk sauce. If the paste doesn't crispen up, oh well. Ooh. Oh, that's good. I taste the fruit in it. It's definitely got some fruit, like some orange paste in it. I don't know what's all in it, but whoever put this together is good. And of course, we got that spice at the end that I love. Oh yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna raise this up. Get it up. I'm gonna lower it back now. So now what we'll do next is, now that I know that the salmon's ready, I'll just, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually start meal prepping. Yeah, so I'm going to meal prep everything, put everything together on a plate, and then I'll bring you guys in when all that's done. All right, guys, so this is the final result. I got my bowls of meal prep ready to go. I just got to cut up the rest of the salmon, but I'm hungry now, so I just cut me a little piece off. And got my pasta there. And of course, we didn't forget our Parmesan cheese. You can add that on top if you like to. I like to, so I will. And that's pretty much it. So thanks for coming to another episode of Vic Cook. And until next time.